second delay. No, this is why you don't like going live because you're like you go. It's delayed by a little bit. That's because we don't want to say the word shit and stuff.
Mom, you're live now.
Oh.
Hey,
We need
by
the
the way,
light on this.
by
Like,
the way,
live.
we're live. Come
Be
on.
quiet.
Are we for real?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Hi,
Hello.
Facebook land.
I don't think we're live. I don't know if we are.
Are they
or not.
lying to us?
Are we live?
You are.
We're live. We're live.
Wouldn't question
Let's
him.
test it.
Hello, can you hear us? Anyway, happy Thursday. We're not usually here on Thursdays because
know.
Tuesday and Wednesdays are kind of more of our podcast day. But we have this very special guest with us today. We don't know if he's a boy or a man.
Man, I promise you
Somewhere
that.
in between.
I promise you that.
Go ahead and introduce our very special guest.
This is Andrew from Southeast Mortgage. Say hello, Andrew.
Howdy, y'all. How y'all doing?
Andrew Pais.
Thank y'all for
and-
having me.
hold. You don't want to
Such
say?
a ham. He always has to get in the camera.
You sure
every
don't?
time.
Do you have anything
Bye,
to
miss
offer?
you. You want?
Hey, Andrew's my boy.
Holt, do you offer podcast services in this room? Other to-
yeah, but
Do you deliver T-shirts shirtless?
not anymore.
Yes, you do, because we're giving away a T-shirt later.
And Holt's going to deliver it shirtless.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Mommy said so.
Soliciting the production crew.
I am. So, okay, here we are live. Our goal for this podcast is if you guys have any questions, text us 334-332-4002 on my phone, or ask us a question on Facebook Live. And we'll be glad to maybe answer them if we feel like it, or if we feel it's appropriate.
I guess
mean,
we'll have to vet it.
Don't
first.
ask me if I wear a water bra because that's quite obvious.
Water bra.
Pull it up on your phone. Facebook Live.
I'm on it.
We got it.
Well, I don't see it. Like,
I
help.
got you, Wells.
Help.
Are we on there? Are you on there? Do you see it? Okay.
I got you.
Anyway, we got.
Questions on there.
Look, little man, I know what I'm doing. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of our goal. Clean questions only, and we are going to
Clean-ish.
break juice with Andrew this morning. Block 9 again. It's one of my faves. At Chart Oaks.
Oh, very good.
So we'll get to that in a minute. But Andrew does do mortgages. We are not going to bore you today
No.
No.
Not even
with
Not
all
today.
mortgage and real estate talk, but we are going to talk about some important things.
We can touch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but while we are doing our introductions, I am going to pour some wine.
Game on.
Okay.
As we all know, realtor Tolan,
Lender, Southeast.
yes. And
So-
so I have a question though.
Yeah, go.
Oh wait, I have a question though.
Go.
Mortgage rates, how are they right now? Rumor has it they've dropped a tad.
They have dropped. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into a rate, but yes,
Oopsies.
rates have
I
dropped
might-
and opportunities to get out there and buy property.
All right. So, given the best case scenario, you're like, by the book, a perfect customer client. What's the rate you're going to get on a mortgage right now?
Low 4% at 30 years.
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Very,
a
very
little
good.
Go-go juice for you, Andrew.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I missed the introduction. What kind of wine is this?
This is Block 9. It's a Pinot Noir, which is
Oh,
I'm
Pinot.
not a complete Pinot fan, but I do like this one.
I like
and it's
Pinots.
under $15 at Chart
Chart
Oaks.
Oaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So,
hello, happy
cheers,
Thursday.
Andrew. Get in
Cheers to
the
Andrew.
Cheers.
Oh, let me turn this around. Okay.
I'm first too as going to. You've got that on. I can't even
gotta turn that
concentrate.
down
Turn
there,
that down.
Andrew.
We are a podcast. We are not like looking at phones at the moment.
Well, it's actually. Go
It's
ahead.
live. We got questions. We got questions coming in.
So I met Andrew. I'm going to tell you guys how I met Andrew, and then we're going to talk a little bit about why. Well, first of all, why I'm dressed like this.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I
secondly-
need to. Okay. She walked in and she was like, "Did you miss the
Meredith
memo?
Davis, I will answer that in a
Did
minute.
you miss the memo? You're not dressed up like a professional." And I was like, "Well, yes, I missed the memo. I didn't get that. I didn't know we were supposed to." So her question is what, Amy?
Okay, I'm gonna answer. I haven't even started drinking yet, Meredith. So Meredith would like to know what we are drinking today, but I just did say it's
Okay.
a Pinot Noir.
It is
Block
a Pinot.
9
Hold the
from
bottle
Chart
up.
Oaks.
Right there, block 9.
I've spilled a little bit of it on the table.
I see that.
Thank God I bought the table.
Okay, so back to me.
So funny today.
Just wipe it off with that shirt you're never going to wear again.
And Meredith,
'cause-
we're looking forward to you next week as well.
oh, yeah,
she's
that's going to be a
our
good
guest
one.
next
We're going to
week,
do a separate promo
It's
for that
secret,
at
yeah.
some point. Okay. But no, really. I think they've even forgot what we're talking about.
Sorry,
I walk in, I get berated because I'm not dressed up. And I was like, I missed the memo on that. Were we supposed to dress up? Andrew looks so nice and so professional.
Thank you.
And so you wanted to ask an important question. And that was being dressed like this. I don't think you can see the whole full Amy effect right now, but she's wearing like a really stuffy jacket, black and white. She can't breathe. She's almost vomited when she came in, and she's all dressy.
Wait, I'd
So-
have to have a drink for that.
Right. So why did you do that? Because that's not you. And we're about being authentic.
We are about
So-
being authentic.
Yeah, where
and-
did you get the idea to go with your off the cuff? Let's go a little bit different angle.
when I started real estate.
No, with dressing.
With your
today.
dress today.
Oh,
With your attire.
because my question is to the general public.
Yeah.
Would you does the general public feel like more comfortable or trusting with somebody that dresses like this versus what my normal attire is, which is like a free people bohemian type of funky look?
Well, it's your
So,
style.
Yeah, that is my style.
your
I mean,
style.
like right now, I'm not being authentic at all.
No, it hurts me.
It hurts me. This is
Yeah.
painful for me.
Yeah.
But some people out there perceive this kind of a look, and I am untucked, so I'm kind of still a little bit rogue. And I wouldn't say I have on high heel shoes. I have on boots because I don't own a pair of high heel shoes. But some people feel like this presents like, oh, she knows more what she's talking about when buying their biggest financial
Right.
investment.
Right.
Versus, my jeans with holes in the knees.
Yeah.
So
But people love you for you, and they watch your videos, and they think you're funny and smart and intelligent. And I think the clothes match the personality.
well,
But
they do.
I'm,
but I'm just asking
I would
the
be
question.
I would
I'm
be
just asking-
curious too. Like, how judgmental are you out there? Well, I mean, no, seriously, and all. And,
And being a style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you recognizable more so with your style and your brand, or are you going to want to change the game a little bit and dress up different? Dress up so people take you more seriously? Or-
No, I mean you actually bought a house for me.
Absolutely, I
Yeah,
did. And I loved your style.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So that's. I mean, Andrew can actually answer that question.
Right.
Yeah. I
Um,
bought from Amy because
yeah.
of Amy.
Yeah, I think most people
Your
do.
Thank
knowledge
you.
is
Thank
know,
you.
so. I mean, yeah, it's not.
But I mean, I was just asking for the majority out there, like what their perception is. Does it makes them feel a little bit more safe with somebody, a little bit more tailored?
It probably depends on where they are in the buying experience. If
Yeah.
they're like a really inexperienced buyer or a first-time home buyer, they're probably going to go by the book look of a realtor, very clean cut, dressed, for the position. And I think realtor can be such a broad spectrum of that, though.
Yeah.
Mortgage lender probably should go with this.
Mhm.
You don't want somebody to, excuse me, don't call me, we're live. You should be watching, not calling me. Or maybe they have a question. I don't know. Anyway, with you, I would say somebody who's going to be handling your money or looking at your own finances, you probably don't want them to be like in a Tommy Bahama cut off,
Yeah.
like you just
Sandals
walked
and-
off
Yeah.
the cruise ship. Look, no, you look great.
Well, thank you.
Do you want to plug any of this?
No.
No. Okay. Not a name
Gray
brand
suit,
guy.
Pocket square, my
This-
style. You'll recognize me.
I have.
Is that-
So I have another question too, which one of my least favorite things. But having said that, it is one of my least favorite things. And hold on, I need to drink to this one because this one stresses me out. This
no.
This is a stressed out question. And Zillow, hold on.
Oh.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Your arch nemesis.
I think
Well-
I have an idea what you're about to say.
Well, I know. I'm thankful for Zillow because actually I met Andrew because of Zillow.
You did.
I did. That's a long
Oh,
story.
so you should have mixed feelings for Zillow.
I do. I mean,
Okay.
I've got some great customers that I have met off Zillow. I just don't think the general public understands how Zillow works. Like when
it's a
you make
computer.
that, yes, and when you make that first phone call,
Yeah.
who you're actually calling.
Yeah,
They
let's talk
actually
about it.
think
Let's
it's the
explain
listing
it.
agent, and that's not
It's not true.
ever the case usually.
No.
So I wanted to talk about that because
Yes.
when we get those phone calls, like it's just they need to be taught a little bit better about how
Tell 'em.
Zillow works.
Teach them.
Yes. So and it's not a bad thing. Zestimates are full of crap. So when you say, well, my house, I'm about to get on a tangent here because a Zestimate to me, and everybody who follows me on social media knows how I feel about that. Zillow is actually housed in California.
Right.
Yes,
Different
they have-
housing market.
Yes, and they do have all the comps and stuff for around here, but they have never been in your house ever.
No.
Never.
They've
ever.
never walked around in our community.
They
True.
don't know the difference. And like, say for an example of Lake Martin,
Mm-hmm.
when you are like pulling up Dadeville, you have houses in Dadeville. Those houses in Dadeville could be $90,000. Then you have a $1.2 million house on the lake. Well, then they're like, well, this is all the estimates are off
Right.
because of they don't know. They
No.
don't know the market.
No.
So don't believe in Zestimates.
I mean,
Well, and just like you said, at the lake specifically,
It's very
a
different.
house across the street off water
Yeah.
versus the house across the street on water.
They don't know.
Two different ball games.
Well,
and they
and,
don't know water frontage either. So.
yeah, how do they, what kind of weight do they put onto a lakefront property, being in Alabama versus, another lake anywhere else or whatever? It's like, if they're going to try to value or evaluate, I should say, a piece of property that's lake frontage or not, how much weight do they put on that? They don't,
Well, I
it's
don't
just,
know.
it's all a
I mean,
computer.
It is a computer. It's all
Yeah.
computerized.
So, I think a lot of people's first step or first stop is Zillow.
Absolutely.
And, then they can kind of get sucked in by the agent that's on there all the time on the side, or they contact what they think, would be a good mortgage lender or whatever. Are you on Zillow?
I absolutely am.
Mhm.
I absolutely am. So what we're saying is the estimates are much more elevated because the California Zillows
or they don't
Not
go in,
necessarily.
Not
I just don't think they're
necessarily.
accurate.
Sometimes I don't think they're. I just don't think that they're accurate. I think that like they're all computer generated and they don't know our market. Like they have not been inside the house.
Okay.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
they can be up, they can be down.
Right.
So there's just inconsistency.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know if that house has got new granite, new this, new carpet. They don't
Right.
know any of that.
Yeah.
There's
I mean, a lot of stuff goes into doing comps on a house, and that's why you need a realtor.
that's right, a
or
realtor,
some-
realtor.
instead of a real estate agent. Actually, we'll get
Oh,
into
yeah,
that in a little
there's
bit later,
difference.
But there's just that's my thing on Zestimate. I do have a love-hate relationship with Zillow, and I think
Sure.
it has a lot of positives.
Right.
There's some awesome realtors on Zillow. I used to be on Zillow a lot as well, so I know how it works. But
yeah.
lenders on Zillow as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your point too is on my end, we use local appraisers.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you the big box
That's important.
companies
Big
that
deal.
are not local, but you're able, you look at them online type situation and you decide to use them.
They're gonna send in
They're gonna-
somebody
you
from.
don't know who they're
Oh,
coming.
I can't
So
tell you
Lake
how
Martin, we've
frustrating
had-
that is.
Yeah, Prattville or Montgomery appraisers.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with them, but they may not know the area or
The
be part
market.
of your, part of the MLS,
Mhm.
so they can't really pull the information that they need, which in turn can hurt.
Give people an example of a big lender, like say Quicken Loans.
Quicken.
Let's just
No,
use
it's
Quicken.
a no-brainer. They're number one.
I'm gonna wait. Hold on. I'm gonna have to drink that. I'm not a fan of Quicken, but only because they take 60 days. But whatever.
Yeah.
But when you call Quicken, you're not getting somebody local on that phone. You're getting somebody that sits in a little cubicle.
In a big
and-
warehouse somewhere.
And doesn't necessarily, absolutely does not know our local market at all. They don't know how fast condos go. They don't know inspection times and all that really. So, for an example, Quicken Loans, they might go ahead and order an appraisal a weekend before you've done an inspection. The inspection comes back where you're like, nope, don't want this house, don't want
Right.
this house. But the appraisal's already been done because they ordered the appraisal.
Yeah, because
Guess who's paying for that appraisal?
Yeah, they'll take your money real fast,
money
right?
first.
Yep.
Yeah.
First thing they want to do is take a deposit down, and then you are at their mercy.
Yeah.
Everyone's best bet
Yeah.
is to work with people in your community because you all know the house that we're talking about. We all know the neighborhood that we're going for, and you have that personal relationship, and that is really the best bet for everybody involved instead of trying to get out and, be everywhere on the internet for a loan or whatever, or an appraisal. You just don't know where they're coming from. You got a question from your dearest. What haircut should I have if I want to sell real estate?
Oh, a mullet. A mullet. You definitely need a mullet.
You need a mullet.
I think so.
Mullets sell really well.
They do. It's
Actually,
very sad.
You know, have you seen the marketing of like the realtor that dresses up in that T-Rex uniform or the blow up outfit? Have you seen that? So I want a mullet, and I just want to be like my picture taken in every listing like this, and with the,
Apparently,
winning.
I'm not talking into the mic, right, Wells?
Is your mic
Does that sound better? Apparently, I'm so short. I have to stand up. I need a booster seat. Can you buy me a booster
I'm
seat?
getting you one. I have it. It's coming from Amazon next week.
Is it pink and sparkly?
You'll have to see
Suck it
when we'll use it when Meredith is here. Is it pink? What did I miss?
Our sound
Everybody's
guy
having to
is
listen
making
to all
fun
this?
of us. That's what's going on. Do we have any questions that are besides a mullet?
No. Well, no. Mullet. Checkbox 1 for haircuts.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
Back
it.
to our topic at hand, which would be I was on the Zillow thing, but we don't have to.
Well,
We're talking
local.
about
Just-
mortgage and going local and knowing who your lenders are.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's important.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what the first steps are for somebody who's wanting to buy a house, and maybe they've contacted a realtor, maybe they haven't, but they want to. What do you say is the first step? Because financing is a big deal.
Do they? Great question.
Yeah.
Do they? If somebody contacts me, have you been? Obviously the first step is to get them pre-qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Are they using a local realtor? Are they using someone? Because then that way I can communicate with y'all
Right.
if they're using a real estate agent and work together as a team. It's not us against each other.
No.
Pull credit. Ask them a lot of qualifying questions. What they're looking for. How long do they plan on being in the house? What are their goals for the house? In the future to set them up for financial success, and then issue a pre-approval letter.
Pre-approvals are better than
Yep.
pre-quals.
Yes.
And there's a difference. So do you want to explain the difference? I like to see a pre-approval letter when somebody submits an offer, not a pre-qualification letter.
Pre-qualification is just standard information that I'm taking for granted. What you're telling me is 100%
You haven't
accurate.
verified it yet.
Correct.
You're just starting. The ball is rolling for these people. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then
and then a pre-approval letter. I've pulled the credit. I have your income documentation,
Right.
and it's basic income documentation. It's not a laundry list to get it started.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be intimidated by that. It's not like, oh my word, I have to give him 150 sheets of paper. No, a lot of it is automated now. We can talk about it, kind of feel it out. Then I can issue you that letter, and then you can go looking for houses.
Okay, so from point A to point B, from somebody visiting you and saying, I want to buy a house that's $300,000, and you say, okay, let's get the ball rolling. When can they start shopping? How long does that process take?
If they have their documentation to me, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay,
max.
that quickly you
Yeah, I
can get a
can-
pre-approval letter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pre-approved and really.
And
it's
under
just-
30.
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Absolutely, and which is nice because everything's
That's
automated.
fantastic. So what do they need
Apparently,
to...
there's a good
oh,
question in chat live.
Apparently,
Except
there's
for
a good
I
question.
can't see it.
Well, this is all y'all, right? here.
Okay.
Well,
You want me to read it to you, Amy?
what
It's
do I
from-
have to answer it, or can Andrew read it and you
Okay.
answer it?
Do we want to say who it's from, or just
Go ahead.
The question.
Everybody can see. Go ahead and read it.
Miss Meredith out there, do you think all the new housing being built will have a negative effect on the housing market?
Oh.
And wait, let's pause really quick. Wells,
Meredith,
somebody's-
somebody's even there today.
somebody's asking if his mic is on. Can you hear Andrew when he talks?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
the mic is on. Okay. Do you think all the new housing being built will be a negative effect on the housing market? Amy and I have had some conversations about this. How do you want to answer this?
Oh, that's a hard one.
That's tricky.
I think that it is going to be, I wouldn't say negative at all. I would say I think it's going to be a lot more competition for the people that have houses in like the 20-year range old, like because most of those houses and like most of those houses I could name neighborhoods, but I'm not going to that they all need updating.
Yeah.
So you have those houses almost in the same price range as you have the newer ones with all the bells and whistles, with like, the blown-in foam, which everybody loves, insulation, countertops that are the right color and not
Right.
the old speckled
All the
granite.
trendy stuff.
All
yeah.
that can be a negative. With the older homes that are about 20 years old. Now, when you get into like the 50-year-old home, people still like that because they're charming.
Oh,
They're
and it's-
usually inside the circle.
and it's
in
coming
Auburn
back
or
around.
Opelika too, and
All-
it's coming, yeah.
all
Usually
the
It's more
renovated.
vintage.
Yes, newly renovated, and people love that vintage look with the new touches.
Yes. So I can see it being a problem because the amount of houses that are going in on the north side of town, North
A
Donahue.
lot.
I mean, I've been out there so much lately. North Donahue, Farmville Road is astounding.
Yes.
And they're going to be. I mean, and there's a lot of them. I mean, they're what exactly off of HGTV. We know
Yeah.
they are all the. You know, you've got everything is perfect. So that's where it's going to be a cause. Now, are we going to have a surplus? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen because I don't know how many people are moving into Auburn.
Well, that's what I was about to
Um,
comment on. Is that Auburn is constantly being ranked as some of the top
Yeah.
small cities in the southeast or in the United States to retire for families. Like we've got the whole gamut here. We are such a great community, and people who go to Auburn University, they may move away for a little bit, but they end up coming back.
Yep.
So
That
we
happens
have
a
such a
lot.
range of people in our community that love Auburn, and so I think that is part of the result of all this new construction building is that Auburn is on everyone's radar, which is awesome. But we're running out of space, so I would say like maybe with all this new construction, your lots are maybe getting a little smaller. If I had to say a negative,
Yeah.
That's
That's for
people
sure.
want space, that is becoming harder and harder to find unless Auburn plans to annex more land in.
Yep.
I don't know where they'd get it from.
They'll make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's been speculation that but so
keeping in
overall-
mind with that, the land is so expensive for these builders that have that 36830, 36832 zip code that everybody will say, well, these lots aren't big enough. Well, that's because the land is so expensive.
Yes.
These builders have to get these houses in tight to make the most, to make it all worth the development.
and they'll
you know?
sell. And the past
They
has
will
been they sell.
They do.
So, if it benefits the builder to put more houses on there, and then he can sell more to people who want to be here. And our schools. I mean, that's another thing.
Oh, we're supposedly
So-
getting a new elementary school, another one. We're gonna have to have another one.
And
Yes.
in high school.
Yeah.
And the new
From what
high
I've heard,
school.
hmm
Um,
All
is the-
going in the north side of town.
I know.
And you bring up a good point with age of homes. It depends on who you're selling to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because obviously, we're seeing what's the next wave of buyers,
Mhm.
and you brought it up where people graduate college,
Mm-hmm.
they decide to stay here, or they move
Mhm.
away, and then they come
And they
back.
come back,
to
so they
raise
have
their
different
family.
ages. Mm-hmm.
What are y'all looking for?
Yeah.
You know? So a repeat purchaser might look at a 20-year-old home as a benefit for them
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
versus someone that just no issues.
Once moving,
Well, you
turnkey.
see, I feel like a lot of
Possibly
the
no issues.
millennials, the biggest buying age group is going to be the millennials.
Mhm.
So and they want HGTV, or
Perfect
they
homes,
want,
right.
I mean, yeah, they also like homes that they can use for Airbnb purposes and stuff like that. I mean, it's like interesting how that they view things a little bit different than the rest of the world views.
Yes.
What they want compared to somebody what my age wants.
Right.
Also, I would say that the majority of the millennials, it's very much the outdoor space. So these builders are going to have to
Get
start really
creative with
yes.
an outdoor space.
They like their fireplaces. They might not ever turn that.
Can't blame
that
them. I like
stove
that
and
stuff
oven
too.
on
right.
That's true.
ever. But they want that fireplace to watch
Yeah.
those ball games and where they can grill or something.
I do
Um,
love
They
that
want the
too,
pretty
though.
kitchen, but they
Yeah.
don't want to use it.
That's
Right.
right. So
Maybe
that's
pay
where I feel
somebody to
like,
use
back
it.
to Meredith's question, like the new construction. I feel like you're going to see a lot more of the younger people going out there. I would think. I don't know. That's my gut. That's who I've been showing to out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and we will keep up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, I have a question for you.
Oh Lord.
Are things really starting to pick up right now?
Yes.
The same as the real estate industry. It always picks
Absolutely.
up right at the end of winter.
Absolutely.
I would say, well, for the last few years, our industry has been pretty steady. So I'm sure for you too, it's been somewhat steady. But there's always a rise towards spring and summer.
Correct.
So I'm sure you're
There's
starting
more
to get
activity.
busy. Yeah.
More activity. Just like flowers bloom in the spring. Well, people get after it and get active, and they get out, and they, versus like a January where it's colder and they kind
People
of
stay in and don't move.
stay at the house. So now,
Okay.
yes, there's a lot more interest, intrigue. Like y'all said, you're seeing, more people asking questions. Back to the kind of Zillow with the review type situation. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the buyers that we're having now, they do a lot of recon, which is
Mhm.
Yeah,
why
they
I
do.
encourage that.
It is good. Yeah.
Look
it's
at the
good
reviews that you have in the
for
past.
that. Yes. Agreed.
And that's what I see going when I work with a new buyer. Typically, they know who they're talking to before they even see me.
Supposedly, there's been before a buyer even reaches out to a realtor, not a real estate agent.
We'll get to the difference in a second.
Is they've already spent approximately 3 to 4 weeks looking online. So
That's a long time.
I go, and where do they go? They go to Zillow.
Yes, of course
Zillow,
they do.
Realtor.com, whatever. But they've already know, and a lot of times due to social media, they already know who they're going to use.
I was gonna say
as well.
Do you think people are doing that more so than word of mouth nowadays?
I think word
it's
of mouth,
always word of mouth before.
I think referrals and word of mouth for sure, and social media too. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you don't think there's one more than the other?
Nope. Yeah, referrals for sure.
Okay.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind
that's always going to be
number one. You think?
Yeah, I think. I mean, anything you think? I mean,
anything you think?
Anything you think? Anything? I've been drinking wine. I'm just kidding.
I agree with that. I do. They listen to, again, what are we focused on? We're focused on the new millennial buyers or the next wave. So they listen to their parents a little bit, Wells. But that being said, though, is they do
They do their due diligence.
They
it's
recon.
Crazy.
They recon a lot.
Yeah.
They're much more technology
I
savvy
think
than 10 years ago.
Oh,
they'd
absolutely.
rather be behind their phone, sitting on their couch, doing all the research they can with less talk to somebody else. I think that.
And look at what obviously how lending has changed is a lot of folks like to see.
We're reading your questions as they pop up.
Yeah, you're throwing me off. I'm like, what are you doing? Man. It just depends. Yes, technology. I think that they do a lot of technology and research versus a referral type situation. They'll take your word for it, but then they're still going to kind of check you.
They're still going to read everything they can.
So they typically know a lot about you before they even meet you.
So let's speak directly to the millennials real quick and the first-time buyers. What do they need to do to be a first-time buyer? How should they be prepared to talk to you?
Obviously, website. I have a full system, so you can apply online in 10 minutes or less, and you can be pre-approved, and a pre-approval letter will be sent to the real estate agent. You don't need 20% down to buy a house.
Oh, yeah, that's a myth.
Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and all the loan products out there have a lot of new guidelines coming up and or already in place for student loans. That's a big one.
Okay.
They're worried about their debt. They're worried about student loans, and they might not qualify. Well, you don't know if you don't qualify unless
you try.
You communicate. And
here's another myth.
Out.
Does it lower your credit score when you apply for a loan?
No. And why I kind of hesitated. A loan, in that generic sense, yes. A mortgage loan, no.
No. Okay.
Because I pull specifically, and the credit bureaus recognize.
That's what you're doing.
Yes, and we only pull your credit once on all 3 bureaus. I don't pull each bureau individually, and it hits your credit 3 times.
I think your credit gets flagged once it's hit 3 times, and it will be lowered.
Now, you go out to buy a car.
Yeah.
They typically look at multiple banks, and they pull your credit multiple times.
And it could possibly lower it.
It can lower the
Okay. But not a lot.
No.
Just a pointer. Well, okay. Well,
it depends, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did we get a question? You were over there snickering. What are you snickering at? I'm trying to catch up.
That's a lot of multitasking for me to be able to read questions and then answer and all that at the same time. I don't know whose idea that was to do this.
You said doo-doo, huh?
Thanks, Meredith. Appreciate it.
I do want to mention something about something I have found interesting in the past year about with millennial buyers.
Okay.
And millennials, I put them under. You're not a millennial technically. Well, you might be.
I'm borderline,
You
supposedly,
are borderline.
but I don't feel
What's the
like.
cutoff?
I think it's like 35, 36. I could
1983, 82, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm
you're
off by
right.
2 years.
There's like a cusp right there.
Yeah.
But what I've seen too is they're very smart. Like I've had the past 3 years, 3 years probably 5. Last year probably 3. 3 of them. Is there a bug flying around?
No, I wanted you to talk in the mic.
3 buying condos in downtown Auburn.
That's impressive. Wait, you mean mommy and daddy are
No.
buying it? Oh,
No,
they are?
No, they are.
That's impressive.
You can be a millennial with money.
I
You
know.
know.
I'm totally kidding.
And not every single condo in Auburn is $350,000.
Right.
So I find that I think that's a very smart move, depending on the price of the condo. But I think only like the I call it the guts of Auburn. I know that sounds kind of raw, but
So
it is.
charming.
It's so charming. But right there, and that's very like the juicy part of Auburn,
Yes.
where everybody, so
What-
many people want
yeah.
to be. And for somebody in their 20s to think, oh, I'm going to invest right
Right.
there,
That's
and they don't even live here. 3 of them don't even live here. They just rent them back out. So,
oh, investment property. That's
yes,
smart.
Yes.
Can you get an investment property as like a first-time buyer?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could absolutely buy any piece of property as an investment property, and it'd be your very first purchase.
Right.
Down payments and such are a little different.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So you're gonna want to be.
So
careful.
you said no as a knee-jerk reaction, kind of, because that probably doesn't happen a whole lot.
Typically, somebody buying their first house is going to want to live in it.
Yes, right. It's
But
Okay.
again, 3 buyers,
Mhm.
they're looking as, they're willing to rent and live outside of Auburn, but then they're looking at buying investment properties. They're looking
Birmingham
for
and
financing.
Atlanta. But all 3 of them were from Birmingham and Atlanta,
Mhm.
that have went to college here and reinvested into
That's
Auburn.
awesome.
So I do see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something so profound. So profound.
I bet.
I know, it really was, and I forgot what it was. because-
Nobody's commented on your dress yet. Like
Oh,
your
yeah,
your
please.
stuffiness over here.
Meredith, you tell me what you think. I know what she's gonna
Meredith's
say.
our fan of the day. She gets the
There's some good
T-shirt.
questions.
Can
in
I go
there.
ahead and say that she gets the T-shirt?
No,
Oh,
that would be cheating.
I'm picking. I
That would be
picked the
cheating.
winner.
Ah.
Did you see the latest one?
Yeah, if I don't know anything about the area,
Okay.
I'm coming on in, and I know that and I've done a little bit of research. I know Auburn is where I want to be.
Okay.
Where do I want to move to?
Ooh.
What part of Auburn?
What part of Auburn
do I want to move to? Well, I'd have to ask you
Whoa.
lots of
There's a
questions.
lot of questions.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'd have to ask you a lot of questions. How is it just you?
Ooh.
She didn't say.
No, let's just say the millennials.
Okay.
Because that is the
Just
focus.
looking for their first.
Yeah, I just got
home.
married, and I'm looking to move back
Okay.
to Auburn, and my budget is
That's
There's
gonna
a-
be a
there's a lot-
big part of it.
yeah. There's a lot.
That actually, I think the budget dictates that's the first thing.
That's it. It really
I
is.
mean, them meeting with one of you guys is the very most important thing.
Mhm.
If we don't know what we're looking for, we're throwing darts
Well,
at a dartboard,
and it's also
we have
you.
no idea.
You can't get them excited about something they can't afford.
That's
I mean,
right.
I'm not going to send you things that I know you can't afford,
Right.
or you shouldn't go for if you're only approved for so much, and and that's one of the first conversations is what's your budget, financing, things like that.
Yeah,
So
where's Andrew's letter?
Well,
yeah, get
Do you
pre-
have Andrew's pre-qualification?
get the pre-
it takes you
pre-approval
15
letter?
minutes. Do it.
Yeah.
yes,
And here's the app.
Yes.
Go.
right.
The
That's
question
awesome.
though is where would we
Where would we suggest a new home buyer to purchase a home?
And there's a lot of great there's a lot of great neighborhoods in Auburn. So
Mhm.
that would be a day worth of driving around and showing that buyer all the different neighborhoods.
Yes.
in
Do you
Auburn.
want to be in a neighborhood? Do you want a townhome? Do
Yeah.
you want a larger yard, a smaller yard? Do you want to be close to the interstate? Do you
There's
need to?
so much that goes
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, where do you
Yeah.
work? Where do you want to play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your lifestyle like? Do you want to cut grass? Not cut grass?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
I'm
much
sure
grass
there's
do you
a
want to
lot-
cut?
There's
Yeah.
a lot of questions.
Do
that
you
y'all
want
have.
There is.
neighbors or do you not want neighbors?
And then
How close do you want
start
your neighbors?
figuring out pricing,
Right.
and then you start, honing it in. But I mean, Auburn's got and I can honestly say this. I can say this about our school systems, and I can honestly say this about our neighborhoods. There's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So much.
Diversity.
Well, that
Yeah.
exactly right. That was the key word right there.
Mhm.
Diversity.
I mean, is it harder to find something inside? I call it inside the loop. Yes, but
I've
are
got
there,
one of
like-
those, by the way.
I mean, like inside the loop, meaning university.
East University Shug.
It's definitely harder to find that. I mean, people love it. They want to be able to walk to town. They want to be able to ride their bikes to town, all that kind of stuff. Or they like the idea of it.
Well, and inside the
Um,
loop has some more space. So,
does.
you want something inside the loop, it's got to be something already existing. There's not a lot of
I was
options.
just going to ask, do we have new construction inside the loop?
we have minimal new construction inside the loop. We have some townhouses that are going up really close to inside the loop.
Yeah.
Which might be a good investment property, you guys. I
It
just
will
saw
be.
them hit the market
They're
yesterday.
really
one,
cute.
Yeah, there's one that's and most of the townhouses in new construction that you see are student rentals actually.
Yeah.
But there's a few that just hit the market yesterday off of Ross Drive that are $199 to like $239 cottage
Cute
style.
little twin
great
homes.
game day, great investment property in
Yes.
downtown Auburn. And yes, you can walk to town from there. So as far as houses, there are some off of University, like new construction. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a few, but not that many.
So kind of be
Kerry
prepared.
Woods has a few
to
big
have
ones, yeah.
Some eccentric or a different style because you're not going to have brand new.
No, not a big selection of brand new.
Turnkey. Okay.
I have a question that was texted to me, Amy. Ready? All right, what's the weirdest thing you've ever come across while showing property?
Oh, I've got a lot of stuff. Hold on, let me think about this one. What is the weirdest thing I've come across of? Like, well, I can't say that too much.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, well, if you can't say it, then don't say it.
Well, no.
Or is it just too hard to pick? There are too many weird stuff.
Have you ever gone to show a house and like the kids
People
or
are
one of the-
there.
people are there and
Yes.
they're sleeping?
Yes.
Well,
have.
yes, that happened to me at a condo.
Yep.
But they weren't sleeping.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they were busy.
I'm picking it up.
Oh, picking
Picking
up
up
what
what
you're
you're
putting
putting
down.
down.
Smelling what you're stepping in,
Yeah.
Amy.
So
I got it.
now
Hilarious.
I beat on the door.
I do too. Real time. Coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've learned that lesson too the wrong way. Not as
Well,
embarrassing
where we
as that
live
one.
is so interesting because we have college,
Mhm.
we have families, we have Opelika, we have we
Retirees.
have all kinds. So you don't ever know what you're walking into,
No.
right? We see happy. You see a lot of sad too. You don't realize it when you first get your license. What some of the stuff when you're going into somebody's personal
Spaces.
place, and there's some sad. It could be divorce. It could be a lot of things. Sick people. I mean anything. And
Yes.
it's like it can
Hoarders.
It can touch at the.
pull,
Yeah.
tug,
It does.
strings.
It's an interesting, very interesting career that covers a lot of gamuts for sure.
It does.
Yeah.
A lot of personal things.
Yes, it
when
does.
somebody asks you to sell their home and they love that home and they want it to be taken care of and and so you get a lot of emotion there too.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, I've had people cry. I've had people cry at the closing
table.
Because of the emotional, when you're selling something that somebody has raised their kids in, or they've been in that house for 45 years, that is an emotional experience for them. And so that's kind of,
It's a hard
you gotta
tie to
put
cut.
on that.
You wear a
It's
lot of
different
hats.
It's a different
Wear a lot of
hat.
hats as a realtor.
But I do love it. It's
Yes.
never 2 days are the same for sure. Yeah, I know, and
No.
not your business either.
No. Day to
Because
day.
everything comes up with mortgage and all that. And I will say this too, that a lot of people don't know with mortgage stuff information is when you get under contract with a house, don't go buy anything else.
Oh Lord.
Isn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
one? I mean, really.
Yeah,
That's like a
there's-
common piece of knowledge that people don't follow.
They don't
Well,
know.
and they don't. And
I feel like they should know.
You'd think they would. It comes natural to us because we're in the business and we see it every day.
Yes.
Yeah, and we forget. I
But
forget
yes,
sometimes.
Perfect scenario is I'm buying my wife and I, we're buying our new house. We're super excited. And before we close, we run to Home Depot, open up a Home Depot card, and we buy that washer and dryer, and that refrigerator,
Yep.
so on and so forth.
I had this happen.
Well, what most folks don't know, the day or the day before closing, we monitor your credit. So we'll know that you've opened up an account, and if you're close to what's called debt to income ratio, I've actually had to tell folks when they've shown up to the closing table, I'm sorry, that refrigerator or those washer and dryers, or actually this is in a situation they bought a new car, but I'm sorry, but that Honda Pilot out there just cost you your house,
Yeah.
and so we couldn't close.
That is.
So don't buy.
take the pilot back.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Return and buy it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean,
no kidding.
You
So
can't go in, and a lot of us women, especially, I would think, when we move in, we want to have the perfect. We want our sofa right.
we want
there,
everything
we
ready
want
to go,
everything
right? Yeah.
No,
No, just wait, guys.
until after closing because it will mess you
It's
up.
a
I know the
fragile
story,
time frame.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
It
Don't
is.
do anything while buying a house to slow down the process or stop it completely.
Yeah,
Yep.
listen to your loan officer. If they are, they should communicate with you, tell you what's going on step by step. We're there for you. Listen to your agents, realtors.
Realtor.
Oh, do you want to finally get around to that and
I wanna
tell the
talk
difference?
about fraud real quick too, because this just came up in a class that I took on Monday and Tuesday. Because now I'm an ABR, accredited buyer representative. I took the class. I'm extra special. Thank you. But we talked about fraud and wiring money,
Yeah, oh my word.
and
yes.
it's become
It's rampant.
It is a rampant. So if a buyer is out there and their realtor, I'm saying that word. Excuse me, I'm not. I don't know why. If they send you a text saying wire money to this that, no,
Don't do it.
no. People are getting these texts. I'll let you get into that a little bit more. But I've heard of 2 closings that didn't happen where they were hacked and like $40,000 were taken
2
out of their
closings
account. Yeah.
locally.
Local closings.
You guys,
Yes.
you know, I think millennials don't respond to those spammy looking things, but some people don't.
Well, and then another that I know, one, we cannot tell the client here or send them the wiring instructions.
Right.
We tell them to contact the attorney, and that's it.
And that's it. Let
you
them
have
handle
to call
it.
the attorney. The attorney will send them directly. We have had a situation where, because the attorney wasn't using a secured email system
Oh.
or even like a Gmail account,
Yes.
these folks are very clever,
Yeah.
Wow.
and they received
A legit
wiring
looking
instructions
email
from
from
the
the firm.
closing agent.
Wow.
But it wasn't. They didn't reach out to them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the agent just happened to send the wiring instructions.
Mm.
Well, they wired their money for their down payment. Well, guess what?
It was lost
Yeah,
forever.
it was gone. Bye-bye.
Gone.
my
And you can't get it back.
It's not coming back.
It's not coming back.
Now, the closing attorney obviously has insurance to protect
I
them.
was just about to say.
Because that's,
I'm sure there's an
certain things
insurance.
in place. But the attorney is not going to send you wiring instructions unless you call them and ask them for that.
Right.
So
And you know,
don't just think, oh, they're so nice. They sent me
Yeah.
instructions. No, they didn't, unless you asked for it.
have your realtor walk into the lawyer's office, get a piece of paper with the instructions on it, and hand
It's
it to
just
you.
it's gotten lately to be a big problem that I've been hearing a lot about.
That's
I
scary.
know there was an incident recently at the lake that was a pretty big incident.
Ugh, that is
So
scary.
just be careful. That's a word of advice that
Yeah.
we talked a lot about this week. So yeah.
Stone Ray wants us to make sure we don't forget about downtown Opelika.
Are you dateable?
Are you dateable?
No.
Oh, wait. Wait. No. You misunderstood.
Kurt would sell me off. He
Right?
would
No.
totally
Being
sell me off.
dateable is different than available. You are totally dateable, right? I mean, you want to sound like
Yeah.
I'm an awesome person to
dateable.
date.
But you're not available.
Okay.
Wait,
Do you see the difference?
We
So
got him.
how about that fraud and the wiring instructions?
Yeah,
Amy,
it's a
and Amy.
back.
Well,
No, you've seen
How about that red face? It actually kind of matches my
Could cool you off a little bit.
Oh, you only,
I
you
don't have
your mic
purple.
today.
It's over
Wow.
But
there.
thank you for that question.
That's funny.
I didn't ask that question.
Wait, your
That was-
answer was funny, not the question. Sorry.
He didn't answer.
No, I didn't answer.
No, he didn't answer that
He
question.
really didn't, did he?
No, that's
No.
what
He said
that's
no.
so
That was his
typical
answer.
of most
No.
men, though.
Hey, Kurt, I need you to call me, buddy. I need you right now.
Yeah, my husband would sell me
Well-
off. Yeah, please, somebody take her out. She's dateable.
You know, she's dateable-ish.
Don't send me the bill.
No, I'm hoping that most people out there has seen Zach Galifianakis in Between Two Ferns, which is kind of the inspiration of the
Hysterical.
name. It's hysterical. So, like, I want somebody to, like, well, when we invited you on the show, you kept coming in and you're like, I don't know what to expect. What are we talking about? What is this? What is this? And I wanted to tell them that we're just going to berate them, basically. We're just going to, like, roast them and
Oh, yeah.
take them down, just like the version
I'm
of
about
Between
to
Two
in
Ferns.
just a second.
Really?
Yeah, like why do you have that angel on your lapel?
Wow. Well, that's my. Well, it's
Why
my
do you have
guardian.
a
My guardian
paper
angel.
Do you
napkin
need
in
a
here?
paper?
No, it's a
toilet
pocket
paper.
square.
You know.
Well, it's similar. No,
Well,
it's,
you know, he just lives in the woods. He needs it.
This is the only suit he has. He just
it's
put
the
it
only
on.
one I gotta keep wiping it. No.
Oh, shit.
Awesome. Angel, guardian angel, gift,
He needs
pocket square. That's
Poo-poo
my
paper.
style. You know, and
Do.
and a gentleman keeps a pocket square because if a lady's crying, he can hand it to her.
Why would you make her cry?
I
What
didn't
did
make
you
her
do?
cry. You see a lady crying.
Totally dateable, guys.
Or
Ladies.
Would you let somebody blow their nose on it? Like if
give
it
it
was
back.
like Holt.
No. Tell Holt to go get some TP out of the
I
bathroom.
mean, I was just asking, you know.
No.
Okay.
The only thing blowing my nose on my pocket square is my kids.
Okay.
No.
That's so sweet.
No.
Oh,
Depends on how
Alright.
much wine we have.
Yeah, that's true.
Are we done with the questions?
I know. My phone
I
froze.
think I'm done.
Okay, I think we're done.
Are we done with the questions? No, I'm sure we can ask him some more.
Oh, ask him some
Hold
more?
on, let me check our time. Yeah,
15 minutes.
we're good. We're good.
Oh, we're on fire.
We're on fire.
Oh, fuego.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we leave?
I didn't comment on stones.
What?
The Opelika one?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Is
what's
this a
up-
deep question, Stone?
Well, what's
This is
up-
11
well, I
o'clock
mean-
in the morning.
All stones.
I know, all Stone's questions are deep.
Well, I
What
guess-
was it about? I didn't see that one.
Well,
I see it's
Opelika.
more of a comment.
What about Opelika?
It says downtown Opelika is prime for new residential, lifestyle, new townhome. And I agree. I think we talked a lot about Auburn. But Opelika, he says we live in a region with two urban cores
Absolutely.
that are very different.
Yep.
And that is absolutely true because you have Auburn's core, which is a lot of, students and investment, game day, things like that. And then you have Opelika. It's totally different. But just as I love downtown Opelika.
Yep.
Adore it. So
Well,
I don't want to
everybody
leave
know
out
I've been
Opelika.
crushing hard. I mean, I have been on Opelika. I actually was at Opelika, downtown Opelika last night at the wine bar, although I do like wine. But Nelson at Aberstan, I always say it wrong, is freaking amazing. There's 450 wines on tap there. That vibe in downtown Opelika on a Thursday, Friday, or
Great.
Saturday night
It's so fun.
is awesome. It's a very I feel like a person in this suit right now. Like I feel like old and dowdy with that vibe. It's such a good young mix of people. There's so many new stores.
There are.
It's so walkable. The streets are. I mean, it's just a lot more.
It's so charming,
It is
too.
charming. The brick, I love it. The brick patina on there. They're opening a beer garden. They have the new Speakeasy, Sneak and Dawdle, which is awesome. Griff Goods, which is great. They even have. I wish that they're so different. They have the coolest lofts down there. I wish there was
They're
more,
really pretty.
with the brick walls. But I love Opelika too because you find a different kind of historical look in
agree.
downtown Opelika, all walkable to the downtown area. But that downtown area is that's probably where you'd be seeing me a little bit more lately. I've been hanging out there a
Well,
lot
it's a
more.
different vibe.
And
It
at
is.
night too, on Saturday nights, food trucks are out in the streets. So awesome!
fun.
You can go to the Taco Sword and Skillet, and then go over to the Speakeasy, and have a drink. It's awesome. So, and that's January and February. So excites
we
me
need
to
to
see
have
what's really going to happen.
Between two Amy's, like, on the road, gone rogue, and just be downtown and
We
have,
should,
like,
we
broadcast live from
Because it is fun downtown
while we're
at night.
out. Yeah.
I really love their vibe downtown night. And you people who say it's so far away, no, it's not. We have this thing. If you drink too much, there's Uber.
Lyft.
There's an app for Uber and Lyft. Go use it. Enjoy both of our communities.
And be
'cause they're
safe.
Both very awesome. There's also some awesome new construction going on in right downtown Opelika that you can walk to downtown as well. So
Lots
Yep.
going on.
Yep. Thank you, Stone, for that question because that's my.
We don't mean
my
to
little
leave
haunt.
Opelika out. We love
No.
Opelika.
No.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to where would I want to move in Lee County? Let's take what are you looking for? What do you like to do?
Right.
There's a lot of qualifying questions you need to ask yourself, and also, we all ask the client.
Yeah, and spend time driving around. Spend time
Yeah.
in the communities. Have dinner here or downtown Opelika, wherever, and get to know the surroundings.
The last three, all this week, business has like really started zoop, because it's that time of year.
Picking
and
up.
everybody's. So, one phone call yesterday about wanting to move to Opelika, one Auburn, and one Lake Martin.
Oh,
So
how
it's
perfect
so
is that?
Spread out, like what everybody's looking for. Everybody's looking for something different.
Well, that's good.
So,
you get
yeah.
to show property
Lot of
everywhere.
interest.
Yeah, a lot of interest. Where we're missing our little sweet spot in the community is 100 to 200 range. There's not that many. When I
There
checked the
are
MLS on Monday,
not
in Auburn,
any.
yeah, there's not. There's 3 in Auburn.
Okay.
From 100 to 200. That was on Monday morning at like 6. And then I don't know what it is now. Opelika, I just pulled that number today. We have a handful, maybe 18, that are in.
Yeah, there's one
I'm
right
trying to think.
corner from the office.
Yeah.
But they
trying to
want
think.
like 137 a square foot for 900 square feet. You're not going to get an appraiser to be able to comp that. So
No.
there's not, comps are a big
It's
deal.
very, yeah, it is a big deal. And it's
Well, they'll adjust their price once they figure that
Yeah.
out.
but yeah, call us, all three of us.
Yeah. Thank you.
And,
Tell everybody, like, say again how they can get in touch with you. What's your website?
Southeastmortgage.com. We're right here, right in Tigertown in that shopping center. Andrew Pais, 256-496-1232 is my cell. Facebook, DM me.
Well, how do you
email
spell
me.
your last name?
Pais.
Okay. It's not with
Andrew
it.
also is a foodie.
Yes,
Ooh.
I'm a big foodie.
Mm-hmm.
Big foodie.
Yeah.
But not a sweet eater.
I do not do sweets.
No.
No sweets, no cakes, chocolates. No, thank you.
No.
Ooh.
Rather have a meal.
I like both meals and
What's your
cakes.
favorite place in Auburn right now to eat?
Why is that funny? I missed something.
No, I'm just asking that question.
You're a
There,
foodie, so
well,
I mean-
this goes. Well, let's make it easy. Depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah.
If I'm in the mood for fresh seafoods or oysters or something like that, the Depot, hands down.
Mhm.
If I'm more rustic,
Rustic.
yeah,
I'm
well,
in the
I
mood.
would think Acre would be more rustic than the Depot. So it's a
well,
different.
define rustic when it comes to food.
Well, you're looking at fine dining right here. I
well, that's
mean,
what I did food.
Look, your palate.
well,
yeah,
or
it's
you
like
want
on
Sheila
fire.
C's Burger Barn is the best burger.
Heck yeah.
I
Is that what
mean,
you think?
Sheila
Sheila's is
C's,
good.
yeah, hands down. Is my opinion. Again, all of this is my Wells, my boy.
You like Sheila C's too?
Absolutely.
Well, now I will
It's
tell
good.
you, I will have to give my 20-year-old. He's eaten every hamburger in town, and is quite the hamburger connoisseur. So I've never eaten at Sheila C's
Oh,
before.
my word.
It's tasty.
So
Yeah, it's burgers and fries. There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
all it is.
That's
but
it.
it's very good burger.
They're great at burger. Yeah, they're
Mhm.
great at.
They're
one
great
thing.
at burgering.
They're great
That's
at
what
burgering.
she
well, that's good to know.
Okay,
Good.
everybody out there, tell Amy how dumb she looks in her traditional realtor wear.
So you want her?
And
you want her to
also-
go old, OG
Yeah,
Amy.
Yeah, she
I
can't
mean,
do that.
Look,
She
this
doesn't
is
look
what I wear
right.
to funerals and when I was a flight attendant. You were a flight
You were a
attendant?
flight attendant.
Hold on, hold the phone. That
Yeah.
was another question we got.
Oh,
But we
yeah.
do need to wrap this up. I think we're getting there. You've had a lot of careers. What was the one you had the longest, and which one was your favorite?
Who answered that? Who
I'm
asked
not-
me
I'm
that
not
question?
telling you.
No, I want to know
Why?
because
Pour me more wine.
pour her more wine.
I think you would have made
Cabana.
the most fun flight attendant ever.
Okay, first of all, they wake me up at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. No,
You
that
get
is-
up that time anyway.
No, shut up. And there's like way more into it with the flight attendant thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
my thing. The bathrooms don't smell really good. There's a lot of
No.
stuff that goes down in the airplane
Gross.
bathroom that I just couldn't handle. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Big planes
you
or
know-
smaller jets?
Like commercial.
Like,
Commercial?
Yeah, so big
Yeah.
commercial.
What
big-
airline?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Oh, sorry.
But it was also fun.
Is it-
I mean, I mean,
Start
I
with a
learned
D
lot
and
about-
rhyme with Elta.
No, I failed that interview.
I failed that interview.
I will say that interviewing for you guys think, oh, it's so easy. That is one of the hardest interviews
Oh,
ever.
I'm sure.
Is interviewing for a flight attendant interview. I mean, I had one interview that lasted 9 hours.
What?
9 hours. They put you in front of people. You have to ask questions, answer questions in
Oh,
front of people.
wow.
But yeah, my Delta interview was at 6:30 in the morning, which is I'm prime. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right?
I'm
I'm ready
ready
to
to
go.
go. That's my. But man, it was like
Brutal.
we didn't get finished until like I want to say 11:30, and
Oh,
I
my
did not
goodness.
make the cut on that one.
Oh, wow. I
I
had no
did not
idea.
make the cut.
That was a big deal. How long did you do it for?
Not long. I want to say 3 months tops. And
Oh,
then I
wow.
was like, I was saved by a certain person in this room. Not to mention, but he saved me from that career. But yeah, that was my. But what was the question again? My longest career that I've
Yeah.
ever had.
How many if you had, and what was your
I've
longest?
had a lot, and that's what makes me so well-rounded. Because I know how to do everything. And being a mom is the longest career that I've ever had,
Yes,
and the
and
hardest one.
Yep.
But I've always had a career in sales and marketing. If I go back and plug in everything I've done, it's always, except for flight attendant, it's always been around marketing
Business.
and business for
Gotcha.
sure. I love it.
What about you,
that's my
Andrew?
thing.
Always been in the mortgage industry?
Yes, ma'am. January was 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, he's only 30.
37.
I was gonna get
I'll take 30.
And what about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
Longest career.
Mom has been my longest career.
Yeah.
It was important to me to be home with the kiddos, so I took a break. I've had my real estate license for 10 years, but I did it for kind of intermittently along the way. I first started off in banking, but I never went to the mortgage side.
Oh.
Just business banking,
Yeah.
sold insurance and boring stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be out of
Yeah.
that type of job. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, in this
but-
job too, I mean, I think that the average realtor is actually 54
In their
years
50s.
old.
Yes,
Yep.
that's true.
And, so
Excuse me.
I think that you have to have a lot of different skills to be a good realtor, and a lot of it's multitasking the crap out of everything.
Or hand holding.
hand-holding, counseling, multitasking, answering your phone.
Yes, you got to
all
be
kinds of
responsive.
things. So I don't know.
And I don't
love
mean
it.
hand holding in a bad way. I literally mean sometimes they just need every little detail, and that's
Yep.
okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
There's a answer
You
all
handhold.
questions.
That's why you hire a realtor.
You do the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yes.
Yes, you
Well,
do.
I hope we haven't put Facebook to sleep. Let's see.
No, it's fun.
I always have fun.
Yeah. We're gonna do that.
I'm glad you're here.
We gotta do that
The
again.
next guest, though, we're just gonna berate them and roast them the whole time. They're not gonna know what they're walking into.
No,
Ooh,
we're not.
I'm sorry. Just kidding. We won't do that.
Okay, we're getting the sign from my sound producer / 20-year-old to hurry the hell up. So we are out of here. Peace out. Happy Thursday. Call us for any of your needs.
And you can constantly ask questions anytime. It doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good? Oh, phone call. Bye. Oh, dear God. What do you think?
It was
We
fun.
don't- We're not right, man.
Are we live?
Do
Okay.
we have any Do we have any viewers?
Yeah.
It bounced around from like 4 to 5 to 7. It says we're still live.
So there's a 20-second delay.
Hey now.
Great. Great.
Wait, you can cut
Hold
it
on.
off, though. And
Let me get off.